Hey guys, welcome to the channel. It's Hamza, and in today's video we are going to go live and go over some of the stock picks for next week. We're also going to be talking about what the hell happened this week, right? So a lot of us are down. I posted a video of mine showing how down my portfolio was. If you guys want to see that, I can pull that up, I think. But in the meantime, I just wanted to go over any stocks that you guys may have questions on, and of course the stocks that we have mentioned in the portfolio. So we're going to talk about that in just a second. We're going to wait for a few more people to join in, or at least some people to join in, and then we're going to get started. So I'm just waiting on the live to begin. I'm just going to take a second to set everything up here. So a couple of things. I am going to do a bull and a bear. So meaning we're going to look at how the market performed when we shorted, and how the market is going to perform on the stocks that everybody's talking about. So we're going to look at the trends and see how the markets close. So if you guys are here, welcome. Say hello in the chat. Let me know where you guys are joining from, what part of the country, or what part of the world, because for whatever reason, my YouTube channel gets a lot of international attention as well. Hello guys. Welcome. So a few things I want to just talk about. And first thing I have pulled up is AMC and GameStop. AMC and SQQQ. So I am going to actually change the SQQQ really quickly to GameStop, because I know that is what everybody seems to be wanting to talk about. So let's just see what GME looks like and AMC looks like as well. My first time here. Hello Sony, welcome. Hit the subscribe button, and we are gonna be ready to rock and roll very soon. Ghassan, hello, you're from Houston, Texas, representing. I am also from Houston, Texas. What part of Houston do you live in, Ghassan? Just let me know, and I will share where I live. Dearborn, Michigan. Hello. We love Dearborn, Michigan. I hear there's a huge Yemeni community in Dearborn, Michigan. Is that true? So for a lot of you who don't know this, I am actually from Aden, Yemen. Aden, Yemen. Yeah, that's where I'm from originally. And that's before I moved to Houston, Texas. So New York. Hello. We love New York as well. It's one of my favorite places to visit. Okay, so now that we have a few of you in here, let's get started. Let's talk about what's going on and why the market is tanking and what I think is going to happen. I'm from Cyprus. Oh, okay. Cyprus is actually, I have a project that I'm building on Cyprus, in Cyprus, Texas. It's on FM 529 and Barker, Cyprus, if you're familiar with it. So for those of you who don't know, I am a investor in the market, but I also invest in real estate. In fact, the bulk of my wealth did come from investing in real estate, and that is kind of where I had enough income to where I started making my own investments in the stock market and analyzing that. Hello Abu Jasim, good seeing you. San Diego, hello. Hawaii, wow, look at that. We have what time is it in Hawaii, if you don't mind me asking, Mark? Be interested to know what time it is in Hawaii right now. Wow, you're pretty it's probably, I think from what I know, it's like 4 or 5 hours. Oman, wow, look at that. We have somebody from Oman. That's pretty cool. That's amazing. Okay, so now that we have a few people online, let's start analyzing what's going on with the market. Let's look at the volume. We have a couple of interesting things going on. Yes, there are a lot of Yemenis in Dearborn. Well, that's good to know. You know, it's actually one of my goals to visit Dearborn sometime very soon. 6:48 p.m. Oh, that's nothing. It's almost 11 o'clock here in Houston, Texas, which is why I had some time to be able to do this. Guys, please hit that like button. It does help me with that YouTube algorithm. So go ahead, hit that like button right now. I know we have 17 of you, so we should have 17 likes on this video, and that will help me circulate this video and more people will get to see it, and you'll be supporting my YouTube channel and this awesome community. Wa alaikum salam, Pocket Change. It's great to see you. We have a member in the house, so I'm going to give a shout out to Pocket Change. All right, so market, what is going on with the market, and what are we seeing, and how long is this going to continue? Because as you all know, we saw the dip and we bought the dip, and then it dipped a little further and we had some extra cash and we ended up buying that dip. Then the market dipped 3 more times. So total in 2 weeks we've had 5 dips, And this is not normal. Like usually you'll have one big dip at a time, and then there'll be some pullback to the upside, meaning like, for example, you'll see a little dip over here. In fact, let's see if we can zoom in a little bit on these charts so we can kind of figure out what is going on. Okay, let's go to the 30-minute chart really quickly. No, 30-minute will be too okay, let's see if we can zoom in here a little bit. Yes, we can. Okay, so here you go. So this is what these dips look like, right? So you had a dip from here all the way to here. Let me see if I can draw my lines. I cannot on Webull. Okay, but anyways, so the dip was from here to here, and then, you know, we were like, okay, that's done, but then we had more of a dip, and then it just continues to dip, right? So what is going on? And what we're looking at is basically, and it's weird because it's an SOS is a scam. Please do not invest in SOS. I do not suggest or recommend anybody investing in SOS. Anyways, where were we? The SOS comment distracted me a little bit. So you know, how many dips are you supposed to buy, and what is the correct strategy to avoid having to continue buying dips? Because I mean, the market dips once, a lot of people jump in because they're getting the same product at a discount. The market dips twice and you're like, wow, you know what, I'm actually gonna move in money from my checking account all the way to my Robinhood account or my Webull account or my TD Ameritrade account, whatever it is, you're gonna move money now and start buying. But then when the third dip happened, people were like, oh shit, you know, like this is serious, this is something that we need to be careful of. Then we had a fourth and a fifth dip, and today the markets didn't really end well. So I'm gonna chart AMC. So this second block here, as you guys can see up here, it's not really clear, but this is AMC, and this is what AMC closed at, right? So AMC closed at between 801 to 799. Now we really thought that AMC was gonna close above $9. There was a lot of hype on AMC. There was a lot of buying pressure on AMC, and in fact, AMC, to be in all reality, actually looked better than GameStop. And I really thought that AMC was gonna hit $9. In fact, I actually considered buying some contracts in AMC. I'm just glad that I didn't, but I did consider buying some contracts in AMC earlier today. Now, what I want to show you guys is it's a simple strategy. A lot of people, use it, and there's no reason not to use it. We are in a time where we do have to now kind of be a little more careful, and we do need to take things into consideration, right? And so when we're doing that, when we're taking things into consideration, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And I'm going to show you guys a couple of things, okay? So the first thing I want to show you is the volume on AMC. So right here, as you guys can see, there is a lot of volume. In fact, let me zoom in a little bit so that you guys can take a look a little better at the volume on AMC. And there was some upward pressure, which means I think AMC is going to open in the green starting Monday. But there's a couple of things that you need to look at other than AMC, right? So there's a few things that you really need to consider. There's a few things you need to understand, and you need to understand where we are in the cycle and what is going on exactly with the stock market as a whole, and not just GME, not just AMC, not just Nokia. By the way, Nokia also very disappointing on how it closed. This, however, SQQQ. So how many of you are familiar with SQQQ or UVXY or VXX? Because these are some things that I think it would be a good time to familiarize yourself with. And these are basically stocks that perform well when the market goes down. And what that means is there's two things you need to consider in the market that are bad. Well, not bad necessarily, but for long-term traders, they are actually bad. One of them is volatility, and excess of volatility, and the other one is shorting the market, so betting against the market. So for those of you who are not in options and don't want to buy puts, right, or don't want to sell calls, This is actually an excellent strategy, especially for where we are at in the market right now. I don't think now is a good time to jump into shorting the market, which means now is not a good time to buy SQQQ. I think we're gonna have one more hurrah before the market takes a dive, and that's it. That's right, you guys heard me correctly. The market is gonna take a dive. Now, whether that's next week or in the next 2 weeks or next 3 weeks, I highly believe that the market is going to take a dive, and the reason for that is the treasuries, right? Let's talk about treasuries. How many of you over here are familiar with what I'm talking about when it comes to the treasuries, the 20-year, the 10-year, and the situation with the treasuries? So basically, let me explain to you how the treasuries work, right? I'm just going to use this card as an example. This card is, let's say, for example, the 10-year treasury, right? And every time people buy the 10-year treasury, they expect a yield. It's basically companies, institutional equity, large family, just large, safe investors wanting to invest in a note. And this note is backed by the US government. And basically what it does is it offers a yield. The 10-year treasury offers a very safe and stable yield. And for the past few years, the yield has not been that high, but the treasury has been safe. So it has not been pacing against inflation. Now, because inflation is coming, a lot of people are invested in the stock market, and the reason for that is very simple, because the yield on the bonds is just not big enough to even offset inflation annually. Meaning, let's say inflation was at 3% or 2% this year, anticipated, whatever it is. The yield was only 1%, which means that companies actually lost 1% for putting their money in a safe bond. And they were like, you know what, in that case, we don't really want to be in the bonds because we're actually losing money. So we're going to go ahead and buy all these like S&P 500 companies that are relatively safe, like Apple, and now like Tesla. And Tesla, it's weird because Tesla is so volatile. When Tesla moves, the S&P moves. Tesla is just that ginormous. It's that big of a company. I actually think that part of the SPY moving, like the S&P 500 moving, was because Tesla is so volatile. And it's historically never been the case where a volatile company like Tesla can actually move the S&P 500 by that much. But now that Tesla is a big player and is only going to continue to grow, I think we're going to have to get used to a little more volatility in the S&P 500, which is interesting because it's something that we haven't had, I think, ever. I don't think we've had a volatile company like Tesla be part of the S&P 500 and be that volatile. Unless Elon Musk learns to play the safe route, which I don't think he will, we are going to see a lot of volatility moving forward, and it's going to be historic highs, historic lows for the S&P 500 solely because of movement in Tesla. But anyways, okay, so let's not talk about Tesla right now. Let's just get back to SQQQ. So I have been considering converting a large portion of my portfolio, not my Robinhood Challenge portfolio, but my portfolio in general, the portfolio that I have in the markets. I have been considering shorting the market, and I don't think it's a bad idea. I actually think shorting the market is something that is true, and I'm going to show you guys something really interesting. So this is obviously the 1 minute chart. I want to show you guys let's see if we can pull it up. Okay, so this is the SQQQ over time, and I just want to see what the time frame for this SQQQ is. Okay, so I don't want the 1 day, I want to actually go on the 1 week. And this is something really interesting that you guys are going to see. So this is the 1 week chart for SQQQ, and what you guys are going to notice is that this chart had very low volume until this point right here, right? And this point right here, look at the volume that we're having in SQQQ, and the volume that we're having in SQQQ, which means that people are now starting to seriously consider shorting the market. And this volume, the last time we had this kind of volume in the SQQQ, guys, it wasn't a good time in the market. uh, the last time we had volume like this pop up in SQQQ this quickly uh, was in fact in the last financial crisis. Now, I'm not saying that there's going to be a crisis necessarily, and I'm not saying that we're going to have issues. All I'm saying is that I think it's time that we really consider, because you know every time there's a little bit of a sell-off, the market panics. Like the amount of sell-off that happens just due to panic is just insane. That means people are getting ready, they're bracing for impact, right? The last time we had a decent pullback was obviously 2020, right? When COVID hit. But you have to understand that that was something that was a pandemic. Like, that was something that was kind of caused out of control. It wasn't caused because of anything. Right now, because of the 10-year treasury, we are actually heading into something that is more predictable and more anticipated. Meaning, if the yields if the 10-year treasury is not selling at the current yield, which is, let's say, for example, 1%, right? So for every I'm just gonna to keep the math simple, for every $1,000 or for every $10,000, if the government is offering 1% yield and nobody is buying the treasury, and the reason nobody's buying the treasury, there's two reasons, which is really weird. This is actually the first time this is happening, I think. The first reason is because inflation is just going and expected to be so high that the treasury doesn't offer enough yield for it to be attractive. So, people are parking their money elsewhere because the treasury is not attractive. And then as a result, what's happening is that the US government is now discounting the note, which means the yield is coming up. So instead of like $10,000 for the note, for example, they're offering it at, like, let's just say $5,000, right? And if they're offering the note at $5,000, the yield now from 1% becomes 2%, because it's, they're selling the note at a discount. And now that yield is becoming interesting to institutions, and now they're buying it. So there has to be enough of a discount for them to buy the note. So there has to be enough yield for them to buy that note. But the problem is that we have the stimulus coming in, and when the stimulus comes in, that means there's going to be more treasury for the government to sell. So now all these people are looking at the government and they're like, well, why should we buy your treasury when we know that you have $1.4 trillion of notes coming out, like literally in the next 3 months? So why should we buy this when we know you're going to flood the market with more notes? And obviously, if you're going to flood the market with more notes, guess what? That notes are going to be at a discount, right? Because they need to sell them, and the yield on them is probably going to be higher than what you're selling us today. So why should we lock in today when we could lock in 3 months for a higher yield and get a better deal? So it's kind of like the chicken and the egg. Which one came first? People are not buying the bonds because they know that they can get a better yield, and the government is not able to sell the bonds at the price that they want to, because they know that people are waiting, because they know that there's going to be a better yield. Now, what does that mean for us as stock market investors? What that means for us is that until the stimulus bill doesn't pass and those 10-year treasury notes are not consumed, meaning are not completely bought out, we are going to have an interesting time in the market. And it's going to be volatile, right? These are unprecedented times. Like, we've never had a stimulus bill, and we've never had to deal with this 10-year treasury issue ever historically. This is probably the first time that I'm aware of that something like this is happening, and it's only because of stimulus, right? And on the other hand, you have inflation as well. So what I'm saying is I don't think there's going to be a crash. I do, however, think that the pullback that we've had over the past week is not over, meaning there's going to be more to come until the stimulus bill is passed and that money is sent out and the rotation is done and people start buying the 10-year treasuries. Because think about it, if the 10-year treasury is at a discount enough and the yield on it is like 3%, which is historically crazy high, a lot of companies are actually going to consider pulling out their money from the stock market and putting it in the treasury. And that's because the treasury is zero risk. I mean, nothing is zero risk obviously in the world, but like the treasury is absolutely no risk, and they make 3%, where they put their money in the stock market, and on an average they probably make 5%. For those 2%, for these guys, it's not even worth the risk, right? So they would rather stick their money in 10-year treasuries. Like companies like Apple would rather stick their money in 10-year treasuries than they would in, you know, the stock market and trying to make that money work and then managing that money. It's just a whole array of different things that takes place. But right now, what I really want to tell you guys is that if you look at, okay, let's zoom in a little bit, because we did go back a little further out than we like to. This is the point where we really saw the 10-year, the SQQQ really see and absorb some volume, right? This is where we currently are in the market. I'm also going to zoom in a little bit so that we can take a look. In fact, you know what? Let me zoom in to the 1 minute so you guys can see at market close what that volume looked like. Look at these candles. Out of like 10 candles, 8 of them are green. And this was right at market close today, Friday. And there's a reason that we had so much green, right? We also had similar amounts of green in AMC. And this is the UVXY, by the way, guys. This is right here. This is where this ended. So I'm also going to try to zoom in here. Wait, let me get the 1 minute candle, which I got. Perfect. And then I just need to figure out a way to like be able to zoom. If you look at the UVXY as well, which is the ticker symbol that tracks volatility in the market, you're going to see that out of the last 10 candles, 7 of them are green. So we are seeing more volume being pumped into SQQQ and UVXY. Now between them, which one is the better? Because you have to understand they both track different things. One of them tracks volatility, and the other one is literally, it's just shorting the market, right? In my opinion, I think now is a good time. Not now, because the UVXY is at 14, the SQQQ is at $14 and change. I think once the SQQQ comes down a little bit to levels that are more normal, and I think we're gonna see that sometime next week, because we are gonna, the way the market goes down is it doesn't fall right away, right? There's always, it's gonna fall and then there's gonna be an uptrend, and it's gonna fall and there's gonna be an uptrend. It's gonna fall and there's gonna be an uptrend, and we're gonna see multiple of those, just like we did on the downside. So I would be comfortable to buy SQQQ at, well, 13 is too high as well, actually. Let's go back a little bit and see where we were. I would be comfortable buying SQQQ at probably, well, look at that. So the SQQQ did go down, which means the market didn't short correctly. But I think if we want to really buy SQQQ and make it a part of our portfolio, this is kind of where we would have to be. So I would say between 13, I would say somewhere between 1380 and 1390. So let's just say 1385. I think I'd be comfortable buying a little bit of SQQQ just as a hedge. I mean, if the market continues to fall, the SQQQ is going to go up, and we will have hedged some of our losses. So I'm not saying that go all in on SQQQ. That would be totally YOLO, and you know, we don't want to go YOLO, but a portion of the portfolio, I would say at this point, I'd be comfortable with 3 to 5% of my portfolio being in SQQQ. And that's something that, you know, we need to really think about as the stimulus bill comes out, because the 10-year treasury is it's going to be interesting when all those bonds come out in the market and we don't have enough buyers for them, just because they know the yield is going up. So it's going to be interesting to see at what yield people are going to start picking up the 10-year treasury, because they're not picking it up at 1%, you know. So we're gonna have to like probably give them a little more. And I think as of right now, we're sitting at 1.6%, which is also very close to the highs that we saw before the last recession. I bought 855,000 shares of PLTR. Okay, we'll talk about PLTR. PLTR is actually probably one of the best stocks to buy right now. I really think that PLTR, at what price did you buy them, Ahmed? Let me know. You know, I really think that PLTR is probably one of the strongest companies to buy. So there was a chat today in which I was a part of, and we were talking about PLTR versus CCIV, because there's a lot of Let's go to CCIV and let's look at PLTR. By the way, if you guys want to look at any other ticker symbols, we have plenty of time today. It's Friday night. We're here to learn and see how we can best make money. If you guys have any input, or you wanna, you guys have any, information, let me know and we will go over those charts together. Wow, Ahmed, you bought it at 27, man. That's crazy high, because PLTR right now is at, yes sir, PLTR is at $23. So I will tell you this, PLTR at anything below $30 is an amazing price, and you are definitely in the money with that. I actually am considering buying some PLTR as well for my challenge portfolio. I do have PLTR in my other portfolio as well. I do think that the stock is phenomenal. The company is doing amazing things, and I do think the volume that we are seeing in PLTR is amazing. But I want to talk about CCIV versus PLTR, because that was a conversation that we had. Now, both of them are amazing companies. Both of them have bottomed out. The only thing I will tell you that for the price, for the money, I actually think that PLTR is a better buy long term. I do believe that there is some merit behind PLTR, and I am almost done with the EV space, meaning I know that the EV space is amazing, but I do think that Tesla controls the entire EV space, and when Tesla falls, it takes down the entire EV market with it, right? So Tesla is like the Bitcoin. Tesla is like literally the Bitcoin of the EV market. So when Tesla takes a dive, everything else dives as well. I don't doubt you. I don't doubt you at all. How about CCIV? So CCIV, Yasmin, is a good stock, but if you're comparing CCIV to PLTR, which I was just a second ago, I think PLTR for me personally is the better buy. I think they have better contracts, they have better technology, they have a better place in the market, because CCIV for me, in my opinion, is the Neo of America, right? Let's think about what CCIV is trying to do when they merge with Lucid. CCIV is trying to build luxury vehicles below $200,000. There's going to be high margins. I'm thinking about what their first earnings report is going to look like, right? Once the merger is complete with Lucid. Now, I think there's going to be a lot of hype before their first earnings report, but I think once earnings is out, that stock is going to tumble. PLTR, I think, is on a much stronger trajectory, and like Ahmed said earlier, I do think that I don't think it's going to 20x, that's my opinion, but I do think in the next 5 years it is going to grow like crazy. So it is definitely in my opinion, one of the strongest stocks for 2021. There, of course, I have my portfolio favorite, and I can go with it. How many of you know what my portfolio favorite is? Let me see. I'm going to give you guys a second, and let's see if you guys know what my portfolio favorite is for 2021. Also, guys, hit that like button. Let's try to circulate the video, the live, as many people as we can. And the only way I can do that is by you guys hitting that like button. That's all I ask. And we can have a fun time and talk about all the stocks that you want to talk about. Okay, J&J. I'm done. I'm done with Moderna, Pfizer, J&J. If I wanted to invest in something similar to J&J, I would probably look at airline or similar. I would not look at J&J anymore. Also, if I was looking at like pharmaceuticals, I would probably look at biotech. Yeah, Opendoor. There you go, man. You got it. You got it. Opendoor is, in fact, my number one stock for 2021. This is a stock that I really believe in, and I think it's going to do great things. So let's go and take a look at Opendoor right now has bottomed out, completely bottomed out, in my opinion. And look at the amount of volume here, guys. The volume is just beautiful. We have a lot of institutional equity buying into Opendoor. Like if you notice here, the volume is so high. This is obviously an institutional buyer, but it wasn't enough because of market trends to keep the stock running higher. So what you're going to see here is that Opendoor did end up closing, and the volume is not an issue, but look at this. We saw the last candle was a huge sell, and Opendoor closed at $28. Opendoor below $30, in my opinion, is a bargain. I really believe in the company, and more than the company, I believe in the jockeys, right? The team. So if you guys Google Opendoor's team, It is a spectacular team, and if there's anybody who's gonna take this concept and this platform to places, it is the Opendoor team. I truly believe they're an all-star team, and they're really gonna do good things with Opendoor. So Opendoor is my personal favorite. I have a real estate background, so I'm a little biased, which is why I find value in real estate. And I think just because of that reason, and the team, of course, and the initiative and the technology, I really love Opendoor. So Opendoor is great, and I think for the price, it's gonna be really good. Now, one stock. Okay, let's talk about. Can you go over Costco and Tesla? Okay, let's go over Tesla. Tesla is beautiful right now. I know that Tesla is hurting, and it's only gonna keep hurting. Oh my God! Whoa, damn. Tesla is hurting, guys. Tesla is hurting. Okay, but this is true bottom. I think true bottom, when I did my charts the last time, true bottom for Tesla was 640. This is close enough, because sometimes we don't get to true bottom, right? If Tesla breaks 640, I'd be a little worried, but I haven't seen that happen. It is at the lowest it's ever been for quite a while. I'm comfortable at telling you that I think Tesla is good here. Now, you also have to take into consideration that Tesla is sitting on a lot of Bitcoin, so that company's valuation now is affected with Bitcoin being at like 44 or 48 or whatever Bitcoin's at. Who knows what Bitcoin is at right now? I'm pretty sure it's below 50,000. I just don't know exactly where Bitcoin's at, but we can take a look at it. Let's see if we have BTC here. Bitcoin, yeah, we do have Bitcoin here. What do you know? Okay, so let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is at 47,695, and so what I'm seeing here is basically a valuation of a company that is also affected by its investment into Bitcoin. So now Tesla is like a little wild child, right? It's got not only the volatility of Elon behind it, he's very volatile, right? It also has the tech, which is fairly new, and then it has Bitcoin as well invested in the company. Now, long term, it's going to do amazing. This stock is definitely a $1,500 stock, in my opinion, personal opinion. But I do think that this is very close to where we're going to see Tesla bottom out. I don't think there's any more room, or if there is, it's not much. But of course, we're going to wait till Monday to confirm this news, right? We can talk all we want right now. Right now, the way we are and where we're moving, I don't think there are any fundamentals involved. So that's something that we need to well, there's always fundamentals involved, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. I mean, it is like with GameStop and AMC and the 10-year treasury and whatever's happening in the market, it is just interesting times, and anything can happen. We could see a reversal like literally on Monday, and everybody would jump back in and the sell-off would be over. And then maybe we have another down closer to the stimulus being passed and the 10-year treasury becoming an issue again. This 10-year treasury is really an issue, but I think that's it. Shankar, I think if Tesla's next point of resistance when I charted it was $640. If Tesla breaks $640, it can go all the way to like 590. That would be the next point. PLTR, I don't think has much room to move down. So PLTR, I think, is literally at its bottom. I don't think it has any more room. I don't think it has any more room to go down. In honesty, I don't see PLTR going to $20. I just don't. I didn't see PLTR going to $23. I thought it was going to stop at 25 because that was the level of resistance. But once it broke 25, it was all downhill from there. I don't think. Yes, you are right. I do not have after hours on the chart. I purposely keep after hours off because the volume is lower in those times. Yeah, so I agree with Ahmed. PLTR's support is, it has a very strong support at $20. So I don't see it going below that. I think, if PLTR were to hit $20, what would end up happening is Kathy Woods would probably just end up buying anything that's available, because she has been buying that stock at a crazy rate at that price point. Not only Kathy, actually, there's a lot of other institutional equity guys who are just after PLTR, because everybody knows that long term, the stock is going to do very well. Now, talking about market recovery, I personally do not see a recovery happening anytime soon. The volume, I feel like, is just not there, and I want the stimulus to pass. Not only do I want the stimulus to pass and people get funded, I also want to see stronger numbers due to the stimulus, because now there's a few things that we need to worry about. First of all, the 10-year treasury is a concern. Once that's resolved, then we need to figure out what the hell's going on with inflation. And then once inflation is resolved, that is when I can truly sit back, relax, and invest like normal. So to me, when you guys tell me about normalizing the market, I'm not looking really at gains or losses, although that is of course the point of us doing this. I look more at being able to trade peacefully and know that there's no hidden surprises that can really tank the market at any second. So at the moment we have a few hidden surprises, and we need to bypass all of those. And in order to bypass that, we need stimulus to pass. We need the 10-year treasury to be consumed, absorbed, and then beyond that is when I really see a normal coming in. So it would all just depend on how quickly stimulus is passed, in my opinion. I still think we have a little bit of room to go down. So yes, by the way, PLTR does have earnings. So I think we have a couple of stocks that have earnings. Nvidia has earnings soon coming up, and PLTR also has earnings. So for those of you who are looking to play the earnings, I think now is a good time to invest in PLTR. Play the earnings, sell before the earnings call, get out, and then get back in after earnings. Because recently what we've seen is, even if the companies report earnings, like really good earnings, what ends up happening is the stock price does go down just because of market sentiment. It really has nothing to do with the earnings. Like, I remember which company did I watch just recently with the earnings. By the way, if you guys want to talk about CCIV, I see some of you on the other chat wanting to talk about CCIV. We can definitely talk about that. I personally exited CCIV at a high. In fact, let me see if I can pull up my portfolio on CCIV and show you guys. Hold on just 1 second. Let me try to figure this out. It's just gonna take me 1 second to open my Robinhood portfolio. You can't catch them all, guys, but you can catch some of them, right? Let me see if I can move this here. I think I can. Yep. Okay, so we are currently this is the Robinhood portfolio. Can you guys see the portfolio okay? Is the screen shared good with you guys? Are you able to take a look at my Robinhood portfolio? Is it showing up on your screen? Well, there seems to be a little bit of a delay, but I will wait for your responses. If you guys can see the screen, we are going to go over the portfolio. Okay, so it seems like CCIV did hit really strong resistance at $30. I mean, it did take it did take a beating. It did go below 30 for quite a while, but it did also at the same time hit a new low. So this, I just wanted to show you guys my market buy. So my market buy was January 19th for CCIV, and then I ended up selling. So I know CCIV had a run up to like $60. I ended up personally selling CCIV right here at $48.22. So I bought CCIV. You guys can't see it. Hold on, let me see if I can scroll down a little bit and show you guys where I bought CCIV. I can't scroll down enough to show it to you guys. But CCIV was a buy for me at $18 and then sell for me at $48. So I did end up selling CCIV at $48. It is currently sitting at $30. Now I am planning on picking CCIV back up. I'm just waiting to see a better maybe a better entry point for me next week based on the volume. So let's actually look at CCIV on Robinhood and see what that looks like. So volume on CCIV, I would say, is not really crazy. And like I told you guys, like if you compare this to PLTR, let's take a look, as both of them are, you know, very close in price. And if we took a look at PLTR over here, and yeah, so see, volume on PLTR is a little higher, and we have, you know, the RSI is looking a little different, and I think this is just a better buy for anybody who's really interested. So PLTR is probably, you know, after Opendoor, PLTR is probably my number 2 best pick for this portfolio. And that is kind of where we are. So with that being said, I also do have long calls, as you guys can see. Obviously, I'm losing money in those. And for those of you guys who watch my portfolio every day, this is literally what that portfolio is. And, you know, it's just interesting to see what's going on. So this is my PLTR allocation. I'm sitting at minus 24%. I had not set a stop loss, as I did not anticipate PLTR to drop this much. But since it has, you know, it's not a problem. After hours, it does seem that it did pick up 3%, which is great news. I still think PLTR is definitely a buy and will continue to remain a buy for as long as I can see. I think the company is just super smart. Other stocks that I really like are BNGO, of course. BNGO was one of the front runners in this portfolio. Let's see what happened with BNGO with us. So we did end up, okay, so this is what happened with BNGO. We ended up selling 400 shares. Can you guys see this? Yeah, I think you should be able to see this. Okay, so we ended up selling 400 shares of BNGO at $14.09, and then we ended up picking up 250 shares at $12.89, and we ended up picking up 250 more shares at $10.41. Right now, BNGO is sitting at $9.84, so a little lower. And of course, what that means is we may go into buying a little more BNGO over time. By the way, guys, these are alerts that I give all my members who are part of this YouTube community. And if you guys want to become members and know when I'm trading live, so I give you guys alerts on when I'm buying, how much I'm buying, and for how much live when I buy, just hit that join button. It's right next to the subscribe button in this video, and you guys can become members just like a few other members that we have in the chat. I post 2 or 3 alerts a day on stocks that I buy every single day, and I think the membership is like I think it's like $4 or like $4.99 or something like that a month, and for that you can track my entire portfolio live in real time, which is pretty cool, I think. Okay, so that's BNGO. Another stock that I think will perform, so NEO, I have kind of put NEO on a long-term relationship, so I don't plan on adding any more NEO in this portfolio. I also don't plan on really actively trading NEO anymore. And I know somebody in the chat had asked about BABA and Facebook. I am done with I'm done with Facebook. BABA, I'm a firm believer in. Actually, let's go to BABA. I want to show you guys something about BABA as well, because BABA was a big part of this portfolio that we had until all those China issues came along, and which is why I decided to drop BABA. But here, look at this. Even Robinhood is telling you that BABA is a 94% buy. So their analysts are telling you that BABA is a buy at 94. Okay, so let's look at BABA's history with my portfolio. So I actually bought BABA at 263, 20 shares, and then I sold BABA at 273, 20 shares. And then of course I do have some more buys and some more sells into BABA. As you guys can see, I bought these contracts for 4,500. I was able to sell them about a week later for 5,500, so my portfolio made $1,000 there. And then we did have a sell in BABA shares as well that I bought. Let's see how much I paid for them. This is how much I paid for those shares, 266, and then I ended up selling them for 257. That doesn't seem right, but it says that's what I did, so I guess that's what I did. Oh, here, okay, so I bought for 256 and then I bought some more at 229. So I must have cost averaged down, and then once I cost averaged down, I was actually making money when I sold it at 257, because that's what I do. I usually never sell shares in the red. I always only sell shares in the green. So it's very difficult or very rare for me to sell stuff in the red. Now, if you guys know me and you guys know my portfolio and you guys watch my videos, Nadeem, I think you need to be on the desktop in order to join, guys. To find that join button, you need to be on YouTube on your desktop computer, because if you are on a mobile device, you won't be able to find it. So I think Facebook is an uphill battle. I personally am not interested in investing in Facebook anymore. So I keep it out of this portfolio, and in fact I keep it out of most of my portfolios. I would rather invest in other companies than Facebook when it comes to social media. So this is Excel Fleet. This is probably the biggest loser in my portfolio, and I think I bought Excel Fleet at the absolute high. And let's go back and take a look at it. Okay, so let's go back 1 month. Actually, I think I've had it for more than a month. Okay, right here you go. So this is what happened with Excel Fleet. I think I must have missed the high, and then as it dipped, I felt like right here, I think it was right here, Feb 29. Let's see when I bought the shares, so I can give you guys a more accurate reading as to what happened. Okay, Jan 4th, December 31st. Okay, so I actually bought Excel Fleet December. Okay, so I actually bought Excel Fleet right there. This is the area that I bought Excel Fleet, and I think at the time the technicals were looking like it was gonna break out, like it was gonna have another breakout towards the upside, like right that way. And that is when I decided that Excel Fleet was a good buy. Now obviously yeah, my favorite stock is Excel Fleet. Literally Excel Fleet has been tough for me. But when you invest in these smaller companies, any hype, any catalyst, any news is really big when it comes to these small time stocks. And so what that ends up doing is it actually it actually hypes up the stock enough to where I could possibly break even, because Excel Fleet right now is at $14. It's not going to be difficult for a company like Excel Fleet to announce some major breakthrough or to announce some major news and get to $23 really quickly. Once it does, we've learned our lesson with Excel Fleet, and we are going to be exiting this company because it just seems to be, I feel like it may be shorted like GameStop. I need to look at the open short interest on Excel Fleet and see what's going to happen. What do you think is going to happen to Apple and Tesla? I think they're good to invest in long term. So if you are looking for a long-term investment that is really good and will yield you a good return, Apple and Tesla both right now, as they sit, are really good investments. And I think that's going to be something that's going to be amazing. And I think you guys should be okay. Now, I do think personally, like I mentioned earlier, for those of you who weren't on the live earlier, that we still have a little bit of down run in the market. I can feel like that we are going to go a little lower, and that is when I think you guys should all get in, and that's when we buy the stuff at a discount, because we can't buy any more dips, right? We've bought like 4 dips. Rocket is garbage. Oh my god, I can't believe I said that. So this portfolio actually had Rocket Mortgage in it as well. I'm actually going to go over Rocket. I also saw somebody talking about which stocks to buy now. Okay, buy now. I'm going to give you guys the advice. So Rocket is not garbage, obviously. Rocket Mortgage is a great company. They're disrupting the mortgage space. They're doing amazing. But I want to show you guys something about Rocket. This is, okay, let's just look at the 1 year on Rocket. And as you guys can see, Rocket has kind of it rocketed right after the IPO, and that's the number that everybody keeps looking at. That Rocket is a $31 stock, but then it just keeps dropping. Like it just goes down to 18 and then goes down to like 20 and then goes down and then goes up and then goes down. I'm actually going to show you guys my trades in Rocket. So Rocket Mortgage used to be a part of this portfolio as well. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what we did with Rocket. So we have buy sell. Look at this, guys. We bought Rocket. Oh, that was 14 hours ago. That was actually not supposed to be a buy sell. But we did it anyways. Okay, this is the part of Rocket that I want you guys to see. So we sold $9,900. I had 15 contracts on Rocket, and I believe that I lost in them. I lost some money in them, but this is the stock. So I bought Rocket in January, on January 5th, and on January 21st I ended up selling it because it was a full cycle. We had that cup and handle type movement going on for Rocket. Yeah, so if there are analysts that did upgrade the stock, I'll be interested in seeing what those are. But I was extremely active in Rocket Mortgage, you know, so I feel like I got tired of investing in them, and I really got tired in just, you know, empty promises, and the stock just kept dipping. It's a good swing trade stock. Yes, that is right. So it just kept dipping and coming back and dipping and coming back. If I see Rocket at below $20, I may be incentivized to buy it. But right now, as of right now, the way Rocket is sitting, I'm not really feeling that Rocket with the Rocket Mortgage company. Okay, so here we have a question. What stocks would you buy? If I had $100,000 today, I would probably put half of it in PLTR, and the other half I would split up between 3 or 4 companies. And those 4 companies would be, I'm not going to give you the ticker symbols, but I'll tell you the spaces that I would invest in. I would invest in 5G. I would invest in space, like space, you know. So companies like Virgin Galactic, like Helicity, like a couple of other companies. I would invest in Lightbridge, LTBR. I said I wasn't going to give any ticker symbols, but I can't help it. I would invest in LTBR as well, because I do believe that nuclear does have a place in clean energy moving forward. I would invest a little bit in Opendoor, and I would invest probably in CCIV. Those are the, like, you know, that's how I would spend my $100,000. Now you can obviously scale that to $1 million or to like just $1,000 and split it that way. But that gives you a good idea as to how I would personally invest my money. Now, once again, guys, disclaimer, I'm just a guy on YouTube. This is for entertainment purposes only. I had to say that. But that's how, yeah, but that's how I would be investing my money if I had that kind of money to invest. Let's see, what else do you guys have? Hello, everyone. Hello. What do you think of TTO? I think that's what you meant. TTO is a great company. It was actually a part of this portfolio. We will add some more TTO into this portfolio once we can exit some of our other positions with a good profit. So what do I think will happen Monday? I think there's going to be a peak. We are going to go up, but then we are going to come right back down, and that is because we have not resolved the 10-year treasury issue that we have in hand. And that is truly, you know, I mean, in my opinion, that is a, you know, big issue that I think is, it needs to get resolved before we really move forward. What do I think about Global Star? You know, I think, let me take a look at Global Star. Okay, so is Global Star a SPAC? That what's the ticker symbol? Give me the ticker symbol. Do you think CTRM will be like Rocket? I hope not. Let's see. Let me take a look at CTRM. Oh, I can already tell you that CTRM is very interesting. At what price are you in CTRM? And where did you get in? I'm assuming if you're concerned about CTRM, you probably entered at somewhere around here on Feb 11th. I think you should be okay. The market will bail you out. I don't think CTRM is going to be too much of an issue. Also, I'd be interested in knowing where you heard about CTRM, because I don't know if you guys know this, but AGTC is a great stock. It's actually a part of my portfolio as well. So let me show you guys AGTC. And this will give you an idea, guys. By the way, when you become members to the channel, you also get to see these entry points all the time, so you get to know how much I am in the stock for. I'm going to show you guys what it's for, but you know, you get that access as well. So I am in AGTC for $7.34, and I'm going to continue to hold it because I do believe it is going to rocket eventually. GSAT, yes, there you go. That was a ticker symbol. Oh, Global Star is a good ticker symbol. I do remember looking at this company for this portfolio. In fact, hold on a second, I will go down because I do believe, okay, so GSAT was not a part of this portfolio. However, I did consider it at some point to be as an acquisition for this mini portfolio as well. So it may in the future, and sometime in the future, be part of this portfolio. But I'll tell you guys what, if you guys, okay, so let me give you guys some ticker symbols that I think are really, really good. Hold on. And also, by the way, like if you look at the number of shares or the number of calls, that gives you the level of confidence that I have in the stock. Like for example, my minimum is to always buy 100, right? That's my minimum. When I buy 500 stocks like you see these 550, so 50 means confidence level is there. I'm really confident in the company, but it's not equal to 500 shares. You know, I don't go by dollar value, I go by share amount. So the more confident I am in a company, I will buy more shares into a company. So I actually have AGTC is a part of this portfolio. NSPR, let me take a look at NSPR and see. Nope, it wasn't NSPR that I was a part of. Although NSPR I do believe is also a good time to get into. No, so NSPR is not what we're looking at. We need to be looking at, I think it is yeah, it's a blank check company. So if you guys want to look at a good potential future SPAC, I think SFTW is a good one. It's very close to residual value, which means it's really good. And it doesn't have too much volume, which means we may see a little bit of a drop on Monday, making it even better to buy. And then Helicity, of course, is another one. That is another merger that is going to take place. That is also in the space section. And if you look at Helicity, Helicity is currently at $15. Was a little lower. I'm assuming this is probably after hours, but I am in Helicity for, how much am I in Helicity for? It doesn't say here. Oh, because I sold it. Okay, so I actually sold Helicity for $20. I got in it at 16, sold it at 20. I plan on jumping back in. I was waiting for a little bit of, you know, upward momentum, and then I was going to jump back into Helicity. And that is kind of what I am looking at. So guys, I'm currently at $130,000, and the only reason my portfolio is moving is, of course, without doubt, because of the cryptocurrencies that I have. Once again, consider becoming members of the channel. We do not have a Discord just yet, but we do have a Discord, but it's not really functional just yet. We are going to set it up, and it's going to be a really good Discord. We already have like 200 beta, no, not 200, maybe like 150 beta members on our Discord. However, it is not fully functional for everybody just yet. Right now, all we have is the YouTube membership, and the YouTube membership gives you access to all the alerts, buy-sell signals, and member-only content that I post every single day. So with that being said, guys, it was great talking to you guys. I enjoyed this quite a bit, and I enjoyed looking at all these stocks with you. I will see you guys soon. I am actually thinking of doing a live tomorrow. So hopefully I will see you guys, I guess, tomorrow, and we can talk some more and see what is going on with the market. And by then, hopefully we'll have a better idea on what the crypto market is looking like, and if Bitcoin goes over $55,000 and gives us new confidence, or, you know, we see new sentiment in the market. But until then, good night. I'm tired. I need to go to bed, and I'm sure some of you are